For my 90 years of living, 5 foods that keep the mind sharp. My dear ones, when you've lived as long as I have, 90 years and still counting, you start to see life a little differently. You notice which things truly matter and which things fade away with time. People sometimes ask me, how do you remember so much at your age? Don't you forget? And I laugh, because of course I forget things now and then. I've had moments where I walked into a room and stood there wondering what on earth I came for. That's just part of being human. But here's what I've learned. Our minds, just like our gardens, need tending. They need nourishment, gentle care, and patience. And one of the greatest gifts we can give our brain is the food we put on our plates. So today, from one who's walked a long road, I want to share with you the 5 foods that have helped me keep my mind clear and my memories bright. These are foods I trust, foods that have carried me through decades, and foods I hope you'll consider as faithful companions on your own journey. 1. Blueberries, my morning habit. Blueberries. To me, they've always been more than just fruit. They're tiny treasures. I started adding them to my breakfast many years ago. Every morning, I'd sprinkle a handful over my oatmeal. At first, it was just for taste, the sweetness, the freshness. But as the years went by, I noticed something. My mornings felt sharper. I could recall the names of old neighbors, phone numbers I hadn't dialed in years, and little details from childhood. Blueberries are rich in what the younger folks call antioxidants, but for me, I just think of them as protectors. They keep the mind from growing dull, like polishing an old piece of silver until it shines again. So, if you can, my dear, start your mornings with blueberries. Fresh, frozen, or stirred into yogurt, it doesn't matter. Think of it as a small gift to your future self. 2. Fatty fish, food for thought. When I was younger, we didn't talk about omega-3s or brain cells. We just knew that fish was good for you. On Fridays, my family always had salmon or mackerel, and it became a tradition I carried into my later years. As I grew older, I noticed something interesting. On weeks when I had fish more often, my mood was calmer. I didn't snap as quickly. My thoughts flowed easier, like a gentle river rather than a clogged stream. My granddaughter once asked me, "Grandpa, why you eat so much fish?" And I told her, because it keeps me kind, patient, and remembering your birthday. For those of you who don't care for fish, that's all right. Walnuts, chia seeds, and flax are good companions too. But if you can, try to bring fish to your table once or twice a week. Your brain will thank you in ways you may not even notice at first. 3. Leafy greens, the quiet helpers. Spinach, kale, collard greens, they're not glamorous. I know. Nobody gathers at the dinner table saying, "Oh, I can't wait for the spinach tonight." But let me tell you, these greens have been quiet friends to me for decades. I remember a time when my doctor told me, "Eat more greens." I sighed, but I listened, so I started sautéing spinach with garlic at supper or adding a bit of kale to my soups. Little by little, I found I wasn't forgetting as much. Important dates stayed in my mind. My grocery list didn't vanish halfway through the store. Greens are like the unsung heroes of the plate. They don't shout, but they strengthen. They keep the memory steady, like a steady hand guiding you through a crowd. So, don't underestimate them. A small side of greens, day after day, builds a memory that holds on when you need it most. 4. Nuts, the afternoon companion. Every afternoon, around 3 o'clock, I used to crave something sweet. Cookies, cakes, oh, I love them. But as I got older, I realized sugar left me foggy. My energy spiked and dropped, and my memory felt sluggish. So I made a small change. I kept a jar of mixed nuts by my chair, walnuts, almonds, sometimes pecans. Instead of cookies, I'd take a small handful. And you know what? My afternoons became steadier. My energy lasted longer. And when my grandchildren came running in, I had sharper stories to tell. Nuts are small, but they're mighty. A handful each day can wrap your brain in protection, like a warm coat on a cold day. Not too many, just enough to remind your body and mind that you care for them. 5. Dark chocolate, a sweet secret. Now here's one you'll like. Dark chocolate. Yes, even at 90, I enjoy a little square each day. Not the sugary kind, but the rich, slightly bitter chocolate. It's my little joy. I sit with a piece of chocolate, close my eyes, and let it melt. I can feel my mind brighten, my mood lift just enough to carry me through the evening. And sometimes, it gives me the spark I need to finish my crossword puzzle or recall the punchline to an old joke. The secret, my dear ones, is moderation. Just a square or two, not the whole bar. Think of it as a daily treat that sweetens both the tongue and the brain. So there you have it. Blueberries, fatty fish, leafy greens, nuts, and dark chocolate. 5 simple foods that have walked beside me through the decades, keeping my mind clear and my heart steady. I don't share this as a doctor or a scientist, but as someone who has lived long enough to see what truly works. These foods are not miracles, but over time, they are faithful friends. And if you treat them kindly, they will treat you kindly in return. Now, I want to ask you, which of these foods will you invite into your life this week? Perhaps you already enjoy some of them. Or maybe you'll begin with just one. Whatever it is, remember, it's never too late to give your brain the care it deserves. If my words have touched you today, give this video a like, subscribe, so we can walk this journey together. And share it with someone you love, someone whose mind and heart you want to see shining for many years to come. From my 90 years to yours, thank you for listening. And may your mind stay as bright as the morning sun.